Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I am Mad Capper. This is another video on Watcher of Realms. Today I wanted to take a look at the Dev Insight for today. It was just posted a few hours ago. I thought it'd be a good opportunity. We haven't done that for a while on the channel. So I thought, you know what, let's take a look at the Dev Insight and see if we can add some of our insight to their insight. And then you'll be so full of insight, you'll be incitable. That's a thing. Insatiable? I don't know. Let's talk about it. Let's get going here. Oh, before we get into this one, I also I'm gonna bring up Google Translate because I know they do answer it in different languages. Google Translate. All right, we're ready. Detect language to English. Detect language to English. Detect language is my favorite language, by the way. All right, here we are. Number one. Question 1. The current GVG tower map is too easy. It's not fun at all. I believe most Overlord level guilds will agree to this. I've reached out to several other guild leaders and all have the same idea. We think the developers have overcompensated for the difficulty of Season 4's Ingrid issue. I think an easy solution... Okay. Let's just bring it in there. The only Ingrid issue that most of us have in the real world is that we don't have Ingrid. Just want to put that out there. I think an easy solution for this would be to give us the option on which map we want to use for our tower's keeps. At this point, I don't know. 3 options for towers, one being the second option for keeps. I think if we would choose from 2 for each, it would make us feel a lot more personalizable and unique to each player. This way players could utilize champions they have and not rely so heavily on certain meta hero, Ingrid Season 4. For example, we could choose from Season 1 tower and the Season 5 tower for our towers. It would make a lot of people happier. That way they could have more options to build decent teams. For keeps, we could choose from the 2 options we've had so far. Thank you, Commanders, for your suggestions. We have taken note of everyone's feedback. Regarding the strategy involved in maps and gameplay, we will continue to pay attention and make optimizations and adjustments in future updates. That's a no. That's a no, but maybe someday, but probably no. I suspect there's a reason for it, more than just no, but I do actually kind of like the idea, but I kind of don't, because then everyone with Ingrid just picks the Season 4 map, which is too hard by your own volition. And then everyone with Ingrid has the Season 4 map, and everyone who doesn't have that map. And the reality, what ends up happening, is nobody can beat the Season 4 map. So I think what they need to do is find a better way through that issue, through that one. Okay, question 2. Idea to add variety to GVG maps. Assign different map towers each group, 1 to 5 plus guild. Okay, that's another way to do it. This will create a lot more matches. Thank you for this. She said, take a note. Yeah, same thing as the last one. Okay. Question 3. It would be nice for a slightly quicker regen of token use for demon soldiers, or a little more time. Or a little more time. Or a little more time. I'm trying to read like they wrote it. We now have a bigger map and a lot more distance to travel in the same amount of time. Makes it a lot harder to attack. And yet, for the new map we recently launched, we will take the map size into consideration, may extend the limit for battles. For nearly all content, you need to have legendary heroes and something very specific heroes. But what about some challenges based on epics? There could be a tower, or city, or even something like Void Rift, where you have to use epics for the higher you get, e.g. Stage 1, 5 legendary allowed. Stage 10, only epics are allowed. This would add some usage and glory to the epics and also bring some new challenges to us. We are also designing similar gameplay content to allow more heroes to participate, and we appreciate your suggestions. So they're doing more stuff. They didn't say yes. I do like that idea. I like the idea of making epics more usable. It's a double-edged sword because there's not a lot of epics in the hero pool. What I would like to see is content that leans into the epic hero pool we have. There's so many epics that are just like Cyclone, blah, right? Like there's so many of those champions that are not very good. Scorch, nah, I don't think so. Whereas there's other ones that have very specific needs. Titan is a perfect example. And there's ones that are so universally usable, Idril, Dolores. It's such a large disparity among epics. It would be nice if epics were more just generally, there's different areas that could be used. But maybe that's for another day. But I think that the biggest thing this game suffers from is variety. And what I found a lot of people did in between. This is what, okay. I shouldn't get into this. We got a lot to read, but I'm gonna. What I noticed specifically during this time of no updates is that we didn't have anything to occupy our time. And that's because once you finish a stage, there is zero reason to go back and try to improve the stage, right? Like once you have 321, you never look back. There's no point to speed it up because things are based on timing. So you actually can't speed it up. Can you make it more reliable? Well, once you get power domination, if you pass it on normal, typically power domination is 100% win rate, and you're good, and you move on. And the problem is, during the downtime in other games, like Raid Shadow Legends, you would spend time, you would spend effort, and of course, more gear, and more options, more variety, tuning those to get as fast as you can. In fact, there were two very major discords, still probably, the Campfire, and I can't remember what the other one is, number ones or something, that would actually track people who submitted their fastest times in all the different dungeons, and that was fun. What I feel like they could do is create new dungeon mechanics that if you cleared a certain point, it would speed it up. Like it's an option. Hey, be like, go for timing, and you click that, go for timing. Right next to power domination, timing event. And for example, if you watch 321, the stages come down so slowly that once you have the ability to clear them quickly, maybe the timing should be when right side is cleared and then left side is cleared. There's not that big wait in the middle, because the wait in the middle is for at the very beginning when you first get to 321 and you're just spending so much time trying to clear the bosses, and you know these things on the left side are moving down and down, and you're worried, and maybe you have to heal your guy there or else he dies or she dies. Same with the right side. Sorry. So you know, it would be neat if there was a way to speed the game's timings up so that you could speed run and find news, because then there's the challenges. Then the content creators challenge themselves and the community and say, hey, how quickly can you do an all epic team on 321? Because the reality is doing an epic on 321 is fun, but then it's over. Again, same with you do your regular team, and then you do an all epic team. Maybe you try to do a team without ABC, but the mechanic doesn't allow too much variation as it is. So this would give you an opportunity to at least tune your team, try to find better reasons to have Alora on the right side rather than Hotsit, because if they're coming down quicker, Alora is probably going to be a better option, as opposed to when you have so much time in the world for things to reset. You can take Hotsit up, you can put her down, you can toss her around, you can do the hokey pokey. That's what it's all about. So anyway, I know that I went off on a tangent, but I just thought that might be a cool thing that they should do. Also, change the loading screen. It's so boring. It would hold me off if I'm a new player. Making something new instead of a boring campfire with boring music. Wow. Yeah, thank you for your feedback. Okay. I don't think the loading screen is in my wheelhouse of consideration for anything, but to each their own. Okay, kudos for updating. Oh, I'm actually going too high. Sorry, guys. Kudos for updating the Drake's Chasm's chest. Maybe you consider also removing the legendary and epic psychic power on Nightmare 3 and 4 max reward, please. Thank you for your recognition. We will continue to pay attention to everyone's suggestions and optimize. What's the psychic power? Is that the awakenings? Is that what that is? No, because if someone said remove the second, I don't even know what the psychic power is. I don't pay attention. The only one I don't like is the carbon copy peoples, and I don't want them to remove the epics because I need them so I can finish my my level up tournaments, my hero tournaments. But I have so many of this 5-star. I have so many of the 5-star. What are psychic powers? Like, do you get like Psylocke there? I don't know. We'll move on. We'll move on. Oh, I'm actually loading the game at the same time. It's so boring, that screen. It's just Rex sitting there wallowing in his own self-pity. Like that's 10 seconds of having to stare at him. By 10 I mean like 4 or 5, but whatever. Well, what do we have here? Why do I have a guild? Oh, okay. Okay, so what's psychic going to Sorge? We want those mythic extracts. I don't think we need them, but we get them. How many do I have? 157. Okay, no, we don't need those at all. These things. Yeah, psychic power. Do not get rid of the 4-star. I don't have a lot of those. I use them up. I mean, I guess I'd probably build more champions than that. I don't know. I only have 7. I only have 3. I use those. But I also have 206. So maybe I see a point there to a degree. Probably I wouldn't just like willy-nilly get rid of them. But I think you could argue that if I have 206 of them, there should be a way to trade those in for something else. At this point, I find like the insignias to be worth more than these, but I still, at the same time, I don't get nearly enough of these, and I use them as part of my power up. So maybe I should stop doing that. Maybe I need to stop using the 4-star psychic powers when leveling up my champions, the auto leveling and the heroes. I have 200. Oh my god. Okay, sorry. Psychic powers are the food. Yeah, I have 200 of the legendaries, but I only have 7 of the epic, so okay. Please increase the camera proximity in battles. The game has beautiful graphics. I want to admire my characters fighting. I agree. I think that's one of the downfalls of this game from a pure aesthetics, is that it would be nice to be able to zoom in a little bit more and see it. The problem is, I think for them, is they have to have the whole game table. You can't shift game table. So, and because there's stuff happening all over, it might be too difficult to do, but that would be kind of cool. If you could do like a mode where you could follow the creature, that would be amazing. Creature, maybe a replay mode where you can follow the creature as the monster as it tries to get through the, that'd be kind of neat. Can we get another shard event for a skin? We've only gotten 1 for Silas so far. For a skin or his skin? Because we've that feels like a very old question, because we have like 3, 4, 10. We got more than just 1 skin that we can earn. We've got the Silas one. Oh, you know what? Maybe not. I mean the current one, which is at 19,000, like a shard event, like a collector event. Okay, yeah, you're right. We've only gotten the 1 collector event. I still have 50 bonus ones. By the way, I also have 84 Moss shards. I have 77 Helga shards. I have 64 Alistair shards. Can I use those for something? Can I trade them in? Can I trade them in for skill crystals? Okay, just asking for a friend. Okay. Add stamina instead of gold in the event shop, please. Please, I agree. Don't ever give me gold. I have 58 million. I'm never going to need it. And even at times back in the day when I did need it, the amount you gave was not enough for anything. Saving gear has been great, although it would be even better if you could save sets or groups or subsets together. Example, Guild Boss 1 Nightmare 4, all hero sets into one group. Have another group of gear sets for Guild Boss 2 Apocalypse AoE Arena. Saving gear may remain limited to GVG for a short time, but we will consider adding it to Boss Rush and PvP in the future. It won't be added to other modes for now. What does that mean? Is there gear saving for GVG? I don't understand. I don't understand that one, but that's okay. Okay, we got a Russian. Time for a translation. Where did my translator go? Aziz Light. Oops, Google Translate did not respond. Oh, that's fair. I guess it was like, is that too much? Google Translates is quit. Okay, Let's start with the first paragraph. Well, firstly, let me make sure I get the whole thing here. Never thought this through. Probably could have had these done already. Well, firstly, it increases not the speed of the skill recovery, but the attack speed by only 40. Due to the fact they add content to the game where you need to remove and put hero back into battle very often per battle, and I believe this is not the equivalent compensation for 300 seconds plus default respawn time for only 40 attacks. Oh, it's talking to me. Yes. I got one of those. There's one that gives you, like, I wrote above how it was possible to redo the equipment a little bit, an amicable way to change this bonus completely. The bonus is a bonus that should give the player a plus from this gear and not increase the rebirth time by 300 seconds. Exclamation mark. I agree. Look, they've already fixed the issue, which is nice because it'll be included in the upcoming version update. I have this. I'm not showing you my game at the time, but the one he's talking about, I have on someone that never dies. I think it's on Boreas, and I never pull him out of battle in the areas of Museum. And that is a variant. It's a variant mythic gear that gives you unable to revive. Last stand. Unable to revive increases redeployment time by 300 seconds and attack speed by 50. So it gives you 50 attack speed, but it increases its revival time to 300 seconds. So, and it's too bad because it's a pretty good piece. Although I got boned on the attack speeds really low. I should actually try to single that one out and improve it. But they fixed it. Good. So we don't have to worry about it. There are too many flat rates as the main attributes instead of percentage-based attributes. What could be implemented is a forge system whereby you submit a certain number of specific gear items and get back a single gear item with more preferable attributes. I'm sure someone more intelligent than I could come up with a method and system for this to work. Also, your ancient gear usually have really good stats, but I've found of late the stats have been really poor with the blue-colored attributes on some and multiple flat rates in others. I myself, along with others who have shared gear on the chat, quite upset with this ancient gear being so rare and seldom received that when you do get a piece of ancient gear, it should be near enough always be really useful attributes and stats, but as of today, this is not the case of late. Thank you for Commander's suggestion. We will consider implementing the related feature. So, they won't. But what I will say is, he's right. Sort of. So, first of all, I have an attack piece here. I should have had it in the other one where you see the game. Can we... Okay, let's take a look at this one here. This is also the variant that we're talking about with that silly deployment time. But I've got attack bonus, beautiful, 22.5. Crit rate, 22. Thank you very much. Attack speed, 33. Two things wrong with this piece. Number one, attack speed, 33. Like, it's not even close. It's way down here. And that's not only an ancient, it's a variant ancient mythical, whatever, the blah, 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 blah. And that's what you get out of it. That's the end game of, like, that's terrible. And on top of it, attack, crit rate, attack speed. Wonder what this piece is for. Definitely not for a defense bonus player. There's no point in the world. What do we want? We want flat attack, or we want HP percent, or rage regen, or a crit damage. We could have the quad. We could have the mythical quad. I just think that defense bonus, flat deep, but that's not the worst one. I get that you can't make everyone happy, blah, 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 blah. But, see who oh, look, defense bonus. Oh, look, HP bonus. See, this is right. Again, got a little bit boned on the crit rate, but crit rate's the least important one because you can make it up on the right side anyway. But there's one here. A crit damage, ancient mythic crit damage with healing effect? Is there a champion I don't know about that needs crit damage and healing effect? Let me know in the comments down below. Terrible. Terrible. I agree. I agree with him 100%. I think that's terrible. And I think that's more important than the flat stat. Look, this is a gacha game. They want you to burn energy, and they're going to do whatever they can to make you burn energy. They're never going to change the drop rate of flat stats, and they're probably never going to give you a way to reclaim those flat stats. You sell them and move on. That's how this game works. Maybe at some point in the end game, we need a little more reason to have that gold, because like I said, I'm at 50. I travel between 35 and 50, 35 and 60. I'm 57 million. Silver. You don't need silver or gold anymore. So, yeah, it'd be nice if we could use that gold for something. But they're never going to change the flat stat drops on the right-hand gear. It's just not going to happen. And as far as substats, they're not going to change that either. That's the RNG of this game. That's where they get you to burn. There's two ways that this game is going to get you to hopefully, possibly spend money, which is their whole purpose. Have an enjoyable game is for you to spend money. Make exciting content for you to spend money. That's the whole purpose. That's the only reason they make the game is for you to spend money. Otherwise, they'd be indie devs running a pub server somewhere, giving you this little free game that they play with in their spare time. They're not. They're a company. They're going to make money. They want you to make money by shard pulls, opening summons, right? And they want you to spend money by having to burn energy, because you only get finite amount of energy. Where's your other energy source? Diamonds. How do you get diamonds? Spend. That's what they're going to do. They're not going to change that. However, when you do get the good piece of gear, and you're right, even with this whole seed thing that I'm still skeptical on, and I've run millions of points of energy into all the dungeons, and I'm thinking I have a lot of ancient mythic gear, but I also have a lot of I've sold ancient mythic gear because it was just so terrible it wasn't even worth salvaging. And that's what I agree with. I don't think that's something that should happen. Anyway, highly suggest making sets like Fracture and Curse ascendable. I'm certain this will refresh the interest of many. Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. In the future, they put it on their little list. I completely understand the needing some time to discuss, and I'm thankful for your help so far. I'm hopeful a solution can be reached as quickly as possible. My suggested options as adding a logout everywhere button that actually logs out all devices. Currently, if someone has access, they will never lose access until they switch to another account. Adding a login pin that users can choose setup and also choose to require every login. This would require an extra layer of security, though, such as email verification to prevent someone from unauthorized access. Creating a password system where you have to sign in using a password at least once on every device you play on, including devices that are already logged in. And adding that option to keep me signed in for the people who don't want to have to put the password in every time they log in. As with option 2, this would also require an extra layer of security, such as email verification. Okay, these are just a thought I had, and I don't know the difficulty, but it would solve problems like mine. Obviously, they cut out what his problem was. In the meantime, okay, wow, that's a lot. We get it. They want to log in. Thank you for the suggestion. First, we recommend everyone bind their account to a third-party service for easy recovery and security. Additionally, we will develop account protection policies based on current laws and regulations. That seems like a non-answer. Just put in two-factor authentication. And if I'm the owner of the account, I can reset that so that you have to put it in. So if I give my access to Ivy, Susie, and she logs in, and then she decides she doesn't log out, then I can force that. That's all. Seems pretty easy, right? I can force their two-factor authentication, and then she can't log in unless she has the PIN. Just force two-factor authentication anyway. Who doesn't have a mobile? I guess if you're on a mobile device, but then I've also seen a lot of programs that can read the two-factor authentication on the same mobile that they have it. I don't know. Just, yeah, it probably needs to be better. Do better. Okay. Oh dear. Another language. Not quite as long as the Russian one. Good. I think 200 essence is expensive to ascend a piece of equipment. If you're 50 or 100, it would be calmer. Better. I don't know. I disagree. I mean, maybe. I guess. I think the real problem is those bullion. Because every week, I always seem to have a couple pieces to ascend, but I need the bullion for the good pieces. Okay. Many ways to improve it. Add more existing good things like summons and skill crystals. Add items that were in shops in previous emails like ancient summon shards and recast hammers. Devs know how many shop points there are in event rewards total and can calculate them and add for Griffin. The event shop is scheduled for optimization. So the event shop is the issue? I don't know. We're missing a piece there. I imagine it was... there was a couple event shops that were just terrible. Maybe that's the ones he's talking about. I don't know. Reroll hammers for specific substats and or sets. Stone percentage. Arcana would allow full reroll of a soulbound Arcana piece with HP percent main. Oh, I like that. We may not expand attributes rather than focusing on more equipment as well. I think they're saying they may expand attributes rather than focusing on the equipment. I guess. I agree. I agree overall. I think the fact that if I get good substats and a bad main, crit rate, healing effect. I sell all my healing effect unless it's a ancient, glowy ancient. What do they call ancient mythical? Because I have like 6 I'm not using now, or 8 I'm not using now, of speed, crit rate, and healing effect, or whatever it is. Yeah, absolutely. That needs to change. That I agree. What else we got here? Add recast hammers for ancients. Currently, we have reforged items for ancient gear. Yeah, I don't understand. Salazar's exclusive artifacts should have the same base damage increase that maxed Scarlet Hunt gives. It should be the rage regen, not the damage that scales with enhancements. We will adjust according to the character's unique traits. There likely won't be major changes to previous artifacts, but we will consider creating new ones if necessary. That's a non-answer. That's an exclusive artifact. So you saying we would make a new exclusive artifact for the same champion is probably not true. I think they want you to fix to give the same base damage that Scarlet Hunt gives. So his exclusive artifact should be as good as Scarlet Hunt, but the rage regen, not the damage. And they're saying no. So too bad. Hello, I wanted to suggest a random legendary card on the 365 reward achievement. Playing this game for so long is a big achievement. It should also be viewed as a birthday reward. Cheers. We will consider adding anniversary rewards, likely obtainable through achievements. So that's a no. Hero exclusive gear is just a new way, like artifacts, of buffing heroes. It is equally bad. Heroes should be fixed buffs for all those who have pulled the hero, not just for those who have pulled exclusive artifact and now a piece of exclusive gear on a relevant set with good subsets also happens to roll well. It feels like Moonton will go to any lengths to avoid admitting they messed up on the design and implementation of a hero. We will continue to release exclusive heroes and, of course, seriously study the issues raised by the game. They're like, yeah, thanks. I don't know what... They want you to keep improving the hero and spend reasons to improving, so I don't know if what you're saying is wrong, but I don't think it's right either. You're saying heroes should be buffed, but you're saying exclusive is just a way to buff them. So you have I don't know. I understand what you're saying. A bad hero, Crotch is Cratch, giving him exclusive items to kind of make him relevant in one area of the game, if that's even possible. Okay, but the reality is he should just be buffed to be better. There's always I think their point is, and I think every gacha game's point is, there's gonna be bad legendaries. There's gonna be a tier list of legendaries, and that's just the way it goes. That's the way it's always been, and I don't think they're gonna let that go because that's how they make money. If they fixed every champion that's bad, then why would you ever pull more summons? Right? So they need a reason for you to pull summons, and that's bad legendaries. For every crouch you get, what I would like is that if you have gone past an A5 on an exclusive, you should be able to trade them in for other stuff. And I don't think the shop is giving you near enough. You get 100 for a legendary, and you can barely get it. So I think the math is bad there, but Yeah, I don't think they're going to buff the heroes. I feel like there's a couple if they feel like it's legitimately not what they intended, but if it clearly there's a reason. Clearly it's as intended because they haven't done anything to it yet, and they have done things to other champions. Anyway, correct misspelling of Silas A3. Currently it states there needs to be more than 2 marksmen to activate the effect, but it's triggered already when there are 2 of them on the field. So text should if there are 2 or more marksmen. Thanks. We'll modify it in the future. In-battle character kit interface is pretty lackluster to this day. The only thing which we can glance is to shorten the write-up of characters' ultimates, which is a nice feature, but not clearly enough. Battles full of dynamic features. I propose adding individual pop-up icons when hovered over X character via battle. Furthermore, I suggest fleshing out real-time buff debuff system during the battle. That I agree with. The current one is too bare bones. Doesn't even include many of the statuses. I agree. Some expandable positive negative status icons with a little write-up would appear over the respective characters' HP bars. I believe that the proposed changes would benefit everyone newly starting on play. I agree. So this needs to happen. I would just notice today when running my Titan keys, my Samurai keys, that when I use, is it Pharisee that offers the so I have Pharisee, it's Pharisee, right? Pharisee and Constance on the same team. So I try not to use his ultimate when her ultimate's up because he buffs the highest 3 attacks. That's Pharisee. I'm not losing my mind. Please tell me that's Pharisee. Yeah, his ultimate applies 20% inspiration to 3 allied units with the highest attack for 10 seconds. And so I use it, and I know my highest attack is my Praetus because I build them intentionally all attack, and because my Praetus is A1, I get to cycle into his increased rage regen, so he's not tuned to Constance. So I have Alistair and him. Alistair is tuned to Constance roughly the same time. Her inspiration's up when his ult's up, and I use him at the same time. With Praetus, because of his rage regen that he gets because of his A1, he's actually able to go more often with his ultimate, and I want that. So I use Pharisee to increase his inspiration when it's out of tune with Constance. I hope this is all making sense. The problem is when I look at him, it still just shows the initial invigoration buff, which is 10%. It doesn't show the 20%. It doesn't show the 40% from Constance. It won't show the 60% with Dolores. And I've double, triple checked it to make sure I'm not crazy. Actually, I haven't checked. I just checked Pharisee. But I've used it several times, and it never shows up on his buff list. So I don't know, in the moment, I'm like, and for example, when I ran my key today and I didn't realize it because I got about the same damage. So clearly what I did would have gotten me more damage. I was missing a piece of gear on one of my champions, Zillatu, but I couldn't tell because when I clicked, she's supposed to have my second highest attack or third highest. So she's supposed to get that buff as well, but I couldn't confirm because it doesn't show. Whereas if it showed and I would have seen that, I would have been like, oh my God, Zillatu's missing gear because she's not getting that buff. And that would have probably, I don't know if it would have got me to A to K, but it would have got me, it would have got me better, and I would have known that I actually improved my team. Anyway, long-winded. Point being, that's a must fix. I agree. You know what? We're at 33 minutes. I'm going to skip 25 because it's in a foreign language. I'm sure you guys can do the same thing I do and just put it in Google Translate. They're working on equipment status information feature, so obviously it has to do with that. Maybe there could be a date on when we're able to pull heroes and see when we awaken them, just to see who was the first hero pulled, then second, and so on. We have planned the feature, and it's currently in production. Oh, that's cool. The game needs something to do while auto-running battles in the background, like a Trial of Ascension Summoners. You can now play other in-game modes while using auto battles. Please give it a try. Yeah, I do all my auto battles at the same time. So I do a set of auto battles background, and then I do a set of live auto battles for like faction trials, for example, so I can get them both done at the same time. It's actually absolutely beautiful. I don't know when they added it, but they did, and it's amazing. Idle reward and hero visit bubble are too close. Absolutely. Oh yeah, please. Okay, future updates because that hero got to move. Include Gear Dungeon 1 and 2 on Best Records page. We'll add more content in the future. Okay. Hey, could you please move the dungeon shop to the main shop, please? Just ease of access. We expect to include some future version. Okay. Many things in the games that are related to evolving characters are achieved through some type of specific raid. Why not do a raid for skill crystals? I don't care if it would be extremely difficult if the layout changed every week. If we could only do it a few times a week. If we could only get about 3 frag. Okay. Yeah, I think skill crystals are. There needs to be a new way to get skill crystals. I agree with that. I don't know if that's the way, but something has to. I agree. Something has to go. Though I would like to suggest a new skin for Soul Cadence, one for the winter with blue eyes. I also think Cratch would make an excellent Santa Claus. Will you consider making skins for a very rare, exclusive Lord Legendary that not a lot of people have? Or Cratch that nobody uses? I'm thinking probably not. But if that's the case, then we also need to find the Grinch. Let me know in the comments down below. Which legendary champion do you feel, or actually legendary or epic, should have a Grinch skin? Let's get this done. I have a suggestion for a skin for Arrogance. No skin for Arrogance because I don't have him yet. Screw that. No, absolutely not. I'm not even going to read the rest of it. The Salazar skin, I don't have him either. Opens a game for directions I'm not very interested in seeing. I really like the game's dark fantasy vibes rather than things that remain. I'd rather things remain lore relevant. Salazar's entire lore is based around him being red, so it makes sense for him to have white. It makes no sense for him to have white blue skin. It makes no sense in the game setting for him to have an electric guitar. Not all ideas need to get past the drawing table. Okay, but maybe you don't like it, but maybe other people do. So maybe it's not all about you. Frankly, it's about me. So I don't have Salazar. I could care less. Couldn't care less. Dsomi should be on this week's Ancient Banner. It's a lizard after all. Well, that's too late. Okay, thank you for your feedback. Maybe you can remove the information in the help to switch the level and the daily challenge. I don't understand. Russian, would you be so kind as to bring back, fix the restart option within the friendly face-off mode so we don't have to waste so much time from our lives? Already fixed. Can we have a playtest mode for Samurott? Sometimes I want a lock. You do. No, yeah, that's true. We don't. Because you don't get to see your damages until you lock in or not lock in the key, right? I agree. We will evaluate the complexity of the changes and optimize accordingly. I just think you need to show the damages before you lock in the key. That, right? Why do you have to do... You don't have to do... Oh... You lock in your key early and then experiment. So maybe you can save the run without locking in the key. Maybe that's the answer. Or maybe lock it in, but with the ability to improve. So you can keep running it, but you won't get any additional... This is what I like. This is similar to what he's asking. So you run the key, you lock it in, but you can rerun the key over and over again to try to improve your time and your reward. And it just keeps your best time. I mean, how many times are you like, oh, I'm at 79, but I ran it 100 times for RNG and got the 80K? Chances are people are sitting around 70, or they're sitting at 85, or they're sitting at 100. Maybe that's an issue to them, but I don't think so. I think that's a good call. I like it. Let's do it. You're welcome. I participate in high-ranked GVG content. Well, la-di-da, I don't. There is not a mode in this game, including PvP, that I like less. That's not true. I do like a PvP less, but I also don't like GVG. I don't hate it. I don't have the time. I don't want to give the effort. Somebody can just tell me what to do and I'll just do it. Anyway, in this situation, keep track of the time left for the attack you want to coordinate. For example, Mahook with an extra attack is really important. So check on the timer while clicking on the demons or enemy. Here's my suggestion: is to move the timer to the center of the UI where the blue arrow points. This way, the shows will be visible, which is really important. The corresponding adjustment has been arranged and will no longer block view. Good. can you make dwarf shop items icons similar and the tile from 4 to 3 to 5 to 3 or something? Because every time you swap to top, it's so annoying. It'll be resolved. It'll be resolved. How about the fact that on the PC client, when I'm trying to click through and just grab the rares and or sorry the uncommons and commons, and then maybe if there's some gold crests or epic crests, and I'm trying to grab those, and I have to click 18 times for it to register. Maybe could you fix that? Just asking for a friend. Fastidious was angry about it. I'm not. It wasn't me. It was definitely me. It drives me bonkers. The gap between the amount of points you get when you win a GVG fight, 15, plus the amount of lose when you're defeated, 7, is very volatile and has to be revised because you end up getting 21 from a win and 7 from a loss. It's a 28-point difference, which is 2 rewarding for the winner and 2 punishing for the loser. Maybe a 10-point base for the winner and a 5-point base for the loser would make a lot more sense and be a more fair approach. Guilds are supposed to be at the top to take advantage of the current point system and lose on purpose so they can get an easier opponent in the next round, where they stay right outside Overlord rank so they can push the last 2 games of the last week and get an easy Overlord ranking. In the end, such a volatile point system results in not reflecting the actual performance of each guild. Eventually, due to the severe amount of effort it takes to recruit, prepare, and compete, Overlord-worthy guilds who will unfairly stay out of it will quit. We have dealt with the issue and it'll be launched in a future version. Oh, well, there you go. Can we enter and watch when someone attacks us in GVG? We'll consider it in future. Probably not. But more upright. They're even saying, yeah, don't sleep on that. It's going to be a while. I would suggest a filter to sell gear that doesn't have specific stats. Being able to without crit chance. It's already been achieved. More convenient system will be launched later. When pressing quick equip, I want to be able to set priority stats. I'd like to quick equip, complete sets, or looking for stats. Which one? The current one clear setup is more geared towards earlier new players, but we will continue optimizing this feature to meet more personalized needs. I agree. Don't do that. Don't spend time optimizing the quick. Dude, do the math yourself. Like, it doesn't cost you anything to put the piece on or take it off. Why should it just be like, quick click, AFK Arena, AFK Legends, or whatever the heck that one is that you just have to log in once a day? So I don't know why I'm so angry. Stop making the gear hero menu jump. Every time I sell a piece of gear, it jumps up and I have to scroll down again. Yes. Same thing with heroes. Yes. If I unpin a hero, the menu jumps up and down. It's really quite annoying. Yes. Also, not being able to scroll up or down if I have a piece of gear selected. What's up with that? We've optimized this part, including future version updates. Well, there you go. It's already been done. So there you go. There's the responses. There's a whole lot of dev insight. Been a while since we've done that. It's a 42-minute video. It was a video none of you were asking for, so I thought I would give it to you. Look, there's one final thing and important. If you made it this far, first off, thank you very much for making it this far. I appreciate you. I do not appreciate that the music stopped. I was kind of hoping to actually have music like back in the old days. But Artlist is still terrible, and as soon as I'm done my 1-year contract with them, I will never use them again. They are great music and terrible implementation of just about everything. And I'm pretty sure that first song that I played is going to get this thing demonetized for a week until I get it fixed by putting a dispute up, like I have to do every single time, it seems, even though I'm whitelisted. Anyway, sorry about that beef. What I wanted to say was, I know that there's a lot of people that are living through their own personal hell right now because of what had happened with Hurricane Helene. And I also know that Hurricane Milton is on its way. And I don't say thoughts and prayers. There's a lot of reasons why I don't. I think it's an empty thing. But I do say that I hope you guys are keeping safe. You're making good decisions, smart decisions. There is no level of personal property loss that can compensate for loss of life. So don't make those choices. There is nothing you own that's more important than your life. So I hope you're finding someplace safe. If you're especially in Tampa Bay, sounds like Tampa Bay is going to get the brunt of all of it. Obviously, the whole state of Florida is basically going to get washed. But just be safe. Make good choices if you live there. I appreciate you guys. I will be there next week, actually, on a cruise. I suspect a very small chance that that's not going to happen, but I will be there on Monday of next week. So you know, I hope you guys have. I hope this is not as bad as they are predicting, and that you guys, no matter how good or bad it is when it hits landfall, that you guys are staying safe if you live in or around the Florida region. Thanks a lot, guys. I appreciate you. As always, of course, please be kind, be safe, and we'll see you in the next video.